What is going on, YouTube? How's everybody today? That's very good to hear. Today I want to talk about an album I got a couple weeks ago by a band called Frank, Just Frank. The name of the album is The Brutal Wave, released in 2010 on Weird Records. Frank, Just Frank are a duo. The Brutal Wave is also a term that the band uses to describe their sound. It's also been called Cold Wave, Black Wave, Dark Wave, post-punk kind of shit. It's pretty much just the whole thing they're doing is this 80s kind of revival kind of shit where you take like sounds of The Cure, The Smiths, Joy Division, and just update it. It's pretty much just that icy synthesizer, drum machine, very melancholy, deadpan vocals about kind of depressive subject matters about, you know, romance, loneliness. I think one song's about the Nagasaki bombing in Japan. It's all about Japan and dropping a bomb and a Japanese guy getting off a plane. These guys are a duo, like I said. One guy is from New Jersey, the other guy's from, I think, Paris, France. And at some point, I read they were either childhood friends or the guy from New Jersey moved to France. And these guys started getting along. They had a common interest in metal music, heavy metal, notably black metal. That's where they got the term black wave from, because they're trying to do new wave and black metal into one thing, and they came up with this. And apparently there's metal influence in the music here that I don't really hear. There is a lot of drum machines and stuff. It's not really lo-fi like a black metal album is. It's got intelligible lyrics. The subject matter isn't all that stark and bleak and evil either. It's just about loneliness and being kind of miserable in a very kind of blasé, deadpan kind of way. But yeah, very, very retro, kind of robotic. The drum beats are very, like, the music here is kind of minimal. Like, the drum beats are very simple, the guitar rhythms are very simple, the bass and synthesizer are kind of below, all the rest of it buried in the mix a little. But the songs are very hooky. Individually they're very likable, but as an album of 11 songs and 45 minutes worth of material, it gets a little boring to listen to after a while. It doesn't really hold a lot of water as an album, but as individual songs, they're pretty good. One major turnoff a lot of people might notice if they pick up this album and listen to it is that some of the songs are written in French with French lyrics, and sometimes that's okay. Like in the case of bands like Air, they can kind of pull it off, because Air's got this kind of charming kind of thing about it. It's charming little electronica, dreamy kind of stuff. But this is just kind of weird, you know, black wave, dark wave, cold wave stuff, and written in French. It's kind of a turnoff. But the songs written in English are, like I said, very hooky, very likable. You know, it's got a little bit of atmosphere, but they don't lay the atmosphere on too thick. You know, it's not overtly depressing to listen to. You don't have to be some goth kid who hates his life to enjoy it. There are depressive themes on here, but the music isn't quite emotive enough to be fully depressing to listen to, which helps with the enjoyability, oddly enough. But yeah, very, very gothy. I don't hear the metal influence in here all that much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you know anything about Joy Division or bands like The Cure and The Smiths, all those 80s bands I mentioned, Susie and the Banshees, Depeche Mode, kinda, synthesizers, drum machines, deadpan lyrics, deadpan vocals, and you pretty much get the gist of this stuff. It's a lot of, they're not really reinventing the wheel here. They're not really expanding on the genre or doing anything new to it except singing in French, but I'm sure there was bands in the 80s that did that as well. I can't think of any that come to mind. But yeah, like I said, not reinventing the wheel, but they're doing a good job. Enjoyable songs, very, very hooky. Production's very clean, very good, very listenable songs on here. Even the songs that are in French still have kind of cool hooks and riffs or whatever it is. Cover art's pretty strange. It's got a woman there getting her head shaved, I guess. I read that she's a World War II sympathizer, so she's getting her head shaved out of shame. And it's got the two band members on here, and I noticed one thing. One of the band members, both these guys, their names are, one guy's name's Anthem, the other guy's named KD. He's got kind of one of them's got this really bad haircut, I noticed. Not that I'm one to talk. And they got more pink ink on gray. Looks like this is the crowd of people, probably more World War II era photography. You also get a lyric book here. Picture, you can see his haircut a little better there. That's the one I'm talking about. I don't know. Looks like one of my old roommates actually has got it repeated, the same picture they had on the cover. And just lyrics. Lyric book, always nice when they include that, right? But yeah, Frank, just Frank. I don't know what the band name means, who this Frank guy is. I don't think anyone in the band is named Frank. But yeah, just some nice little post-punk revival. Sounds very 80s. It wouldn't sound out of place if this came back in like 1980, whatever. When this stuff was big, whatever era that was, 82. I have no idea, but the only thing I really don't get about it is a lot of people are commenting on the black metal influence, which I don't really hear at all, but if you just like kind of catchy, weird synth-pop, whatever wave kind of shit, totally check out Frank, Just Frank. I found the album somewhat enjoyable. A little hard to sit through an entire album worth of this kind of music, but like I said, individual song-wise, pretty nice to listen to. Frank, Just Frank, The Brutal Wave, 2010. Weird Records.